Hollywood has an eye for talent, and when it comes to children, it seems like agents can see diamonds in the rough. Today, we are going to take a look at some of your favorite child stars all grown up. Before we jump into it, don't forget to subscribe to the taco to see more celebrity content. Now let's take a look at 15 kid stars who grew up to be super hot. Zayn Carney. Unless you were born in the late 80s, you might not remember the TV show that made Zayn Carney a child star. The now 30-something musician got his start on the 90s show Dave's World. He even went on to star in the movie My Giant. These days, he's pumped the brakes on his acting career to focus on his music. In fact, he's had quite a successful career in the music industry already, working with talents like John Mayer and Avril Lavigne. And when you see how much he's changed over the years, it's easy to see that he should have no problem with his solo career. He has the looks of a frontman and the talent of a real guitar hero. So if you haven't heard of Zayn Carney yet, that probably won't be for long. We are pretty sure he's destined to be a household name someday soon. Alexa PenaVega. Back in 2001, Alexa PenaVega made a name for herself when she starred in the Spy Kids movies. Now, nearly 2 decades later, Alexa is all grown up and as gorgeous as ever. Though she has transformed into a grown woman, she hasn't put her acting career behind her. The ex-child star says that she has her family to thank for helping her navigate childhood fame. It's also helped that social media wasn't really a factor for her growing up. These days, she's a wife and a mother, which is what she puts first in her life. That being said, she and her husband starred in a Hallmark movie together, Love at Sea. Alexa proves that you really can have a loving family and a career in Hollywood. Matthew Lewis. Harry Potter fans may remember Matthew Lewis as Neville Longbottom, though back then he wasn't on anyone's hottie radar, which is a shame because these days he's really steaming up TV screens around the world. Just take a look for yourself. He's a far cry from the teen wizard we all loved, wouldn't you say? The good news is, you can still catch Matthew on your big screen. The bad news is, he's officially off the dating market. Sorry ladies and gents, but the Harry Potter alum married his longtime girlfriend in 2018. Oh well, at least we still get to admire steamy photos of him on the internet. Nicola Peltz. When she isn't making headlines for her dating history, Nicola Peltz is a hard-working full-time actress. But many people forget that Nicola started as a child star. She first appeared on the big screen in 2010's The Last Airbender. She was only 15 at the time and showed promising talent. Since then, she starred in 3 seasons of Bates Motel and was even the 4th edition of the Transformers franchise. But it seems like people are more interested in her relationship with the youngest Hadid sibling. The couple made headlines back in 2016. Then again, in 2018, when Anwar Hadid was spotted kissing Kendall Jenner instead of his lady Nicola Peltz. Trouble in paradise, perhaps? Considering she unfollowed his whole family soon after the incident, we'd say so. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. When he was only 6 years old, Joseph Gordon-Levitt got his start in Hollywood, though he admits it was his parents that really pushed him. Apparently, they bribed young Joseph with his very own Street Fighter II video game machine. Thankfully, it proved to be just the thing to launch him deep into the Hollywood scene. It didn't take long for him to land his first commercial, and the rest was history. Fast forward to 2018, and the actor's pretty much a household name. And considering he was a teen heartthrob in the 90s and early 2000s, no one is surprised that he grew up to be a Hollywood hunk. We just wonder what would have turned down his parents' bribe. Alyson Stoner. Alyson Stoner has been in the public eye since she was just 6 years old. She got her start in the late 90s and early 2000s as the young girl dancing in music videos. Her talent was undeniable and enough to cement her career in the entertainment industry. She soon appeared on productions like Step Up and Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now that she is all grown up, she is making some waves because of her personal life. In early 2018, the actress and dancer wrote a very personal essay exposing her love for other women. She described herself as a woman who loves every gender, identity, and expression, which means she's come a long way from the little girl we saw dancing with Missy Elliott. Daniel Curtis Lee. It's been over a decade since Daniel Curtis Lee was in the spotlight. After starring in Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide as Ned's best friend Simon Cookie Nelson Cook, it seemed like Daniel stayed away from the show business. He tried his hand at rapping, but was only labeled a novice. Back in 2017, he showed up on Instagram with his old Ned co-star, and fans lost their minds. Not only was Daniel totally hunky, but seeing the pair together again sparked a lot of rumors. Sadly, it seemed like nothing has come out of the meeting other than photo ops, but it was enough to hold their fans over, for now at least. Selena Gomez. If you've never heard of Selena Gomez, you must be new to the internet. The woman is a household name these days, and it's no secret that she got her start as a child star. When she was 5 years old, Selena's mother moved her to Los Angeles in hopes of a career in Hollywood. As it turns out, she made the right decision. By the time she was 9, she was starring on Barney and Friends. This must have caught the eye of the people over at Disney, because only a few years later she had her own show. These days, while she's very much still in the spotlight, it's mostly because of her personal issues. Her romance with Justin Bieber and her battle with lupus seem to be what everyone is interested in. Freddie Highmore. Breaking into show business is a little easier when you have a parent who's already paved the way. Many people don't know that Freddie Highmore's mom was a talent agent when he got his start. You may have heard of one of her clients, Daniel Radcliffe, so it's no wonder Freddie was destined for stardom. He started acting when he was only 7 years old and soon found himself working alongside the likes of Johnny Depp. No big deal, right? Thankfully, that wasn't where his career ended. Now that he's grown into a young man, Freddie is making waves in Hollywood for his role in The Good Doctor. Many speculate this role will cement his career as a Hollywood leading man. Amber Scott. 90s kids are sure to remember one of the decade's most famous movies, Hoult. The 1991 film was a spin-off of the Peter Pan story, and it was hard not to love it. One of the main reasons was because of Amber Scott and her role as Maggie. In the movie, she had the voice of an angel that helped calm Hook's pirates down after her capture. Sadly, in the real world, it seems like Amber wasn't able to launch an acting career after her role. And while she grew up to be gorgeous, it turns out that Hoult was her first and final major production, which is such a shame because we are sure she would have had a long career if she truly wanted one. Nicholas Hoult. When he was 11 years old, Nicholas Hoult caught his big break. He starred in the movie about a boy alongside Hugh Grant. The movie was a box office success, and his career as a child star officially began. And these days, his career hasn't slowed down. He starred as Beast in a few X-Men films, and he was a lead on the UK version of Skins. As far as his personal life goes, he had a pretty well-known girlfriend for 4 years, Jennifer Lawrence. So we think it's safe to say Nicholas Hoult is a Hollywood hunk. Meagan Good. Meagan Good is no stranger to the showbiz. She's been in the entertainment industry since she was only 4 years old. She got her start starring in commercials, but it didn't take long for her to transition into television. You may know her best as Nina Jones from Nickelodeon's Cousin Skeeter. Thanks to her years in front of the camera, Meagan was able to springboard her career as an adult actress as well. In 2012, she starred in Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man and even won a Teen Choice Award in the process. These days, Meagan is in her mid-30s and enjoying the married life. And did we mention she's as gorgeous as ever? Matthew Timmons. We've seen some amazing child stars turn into really attractive grown-ups. That being said, none of them have gone through quite the transformation as Matthew Timmons has. You may remember Matthew Timmons as Woody Fink in Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but there's a pretty good chance you wouldn't recognize him today. That's because he looks like an entirely new person. Besides obviously growing up, Matthew trimmed down. The child actor dropped some serious weight and cut off his long locks. These days, he's looking like a rock star and a far cry from the nerdy kid we all loved on the Disney show. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is another star that should need no introduction, especially since she's been making headlines for her romance with Pete Davidson. But before we get into where she is now, let's take a look at where she came from. Ariana got her start as a child star in Nickelodeon's Victorious. You may notice her hair was much shorter and it happened to be bright red. That wasn't her choice, and sadly it completely destroyed her hair. Though Ariana loved acting, her love for music was greater. After her stint on Nickelodeon, Ariana focused on her music, and it turned out to be the right thing to do. These days, she's one of the hottest entertainers on the planet. And yes, she's also engaged to Pete Davidson, which is pretty awesome as well. Cole Sprouse. There must have been something in the water over at the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody set. That's because we have yet another child star from the show to make it on our list. And who better than Cole Sprouse to round us out? He and his brother Dylan got their start as child stars in the early 2000s. If you ever saw Friends or Big Daddy, then you saw their earlier work. But many fans remember Cole as Cody Martin from Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Since his time on Disney, many fans were worried that he had lost the acting bug. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. These days, you can get your Cole Sprouse fix by watching the popular TV show Riverdale. Cole stars as Jughead, and let's just say he's really heating up the screen these days. Michelle Trachtenberg. Michelle Trachtenberg is known as a child star by 90s kids as well as kids who grew up in the early 2000s. She was all over Nickelodeon as Harriet the Spy and her stint on Pete and Pete. Then as she got older, her roles took a more grown-up turn. She ended up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well as Gossip Girl. But since both of those shows are no longer around, what has Michelle been up to? Don't worry, she's still been very busy in the showbiz world. She's been a guest star on everything from Criminal Minds to Sleepy Hollow. She even produced and starred in a web series called Guidance. Oh, and did we mention she's come a long way from the nerdy little Harriet she played over 2 decades ago? These days, Michelle is a stunning young woman in her 30s. She's come a long way and shows no signs of slowing down as far as her career goes. That's it for this video. Which child star do you think grew up to be good looking? Tell us in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco. Thanks for watching.